Welcome to MRU E-Learning powered by Mallareddy University. My name is Dr. E. Srinivasaraju, Assistant Professor, Mallareddy University, Hyderabad. My topic is here, database migration for enterprise. The main topics to be covered in this database migration for enterprises: challenges, strategies, and best practices in database migration for enterprise. We also cover, data enterprise level perspective, architecture, and critical IT transformation activity. Why enterprises need database migration? That's a big question runs number one. The reason behind is legacy system modernization. That means source system whichever the enterprises are using, they want to increase the size of the database, the speed of the database, or correct the data. In that case, they will move to this database migration from source to parquet. That means legacy to parquet. Or sometimes, in case enterprises wants to move from local database to cloud, then they will adopt this migration. And third, which is important, is to improve the performance of the database. The present database is slow and not up to the mark. Then they will choose the new databases and push the current data to the target databases. And also, last one, every enterprise we encounter, they work towards cost reduction. In the layman point of view, the migration of data from source to target is nothing but like a shop from one location to another they are moving. Then what they will do is, they will ship all the items to the target at the station location. This is also similar. Common migration scenarios could be like this: on-premise to cloud, legacy to modern database, or could be a vendor change, or data center consolidation. See, this is the nature, if you see this figure is an architecture of the database migration. If you see, this is a source is nothing but the legacy database where it contains millions, trillions of data that are migrated through some tool here. Could be Informatica or ETI breeds, and that will be transformed to the target. This source database, for example, if I take here, it should be Oracle. Target could be any other database, or it could be Oracle to Oracle different version. In that perspective, we have to think. See, the sample image, if you see here in the source, these data are moved to the target. I just took an example with the birds. If you see this example, you can understand, what is data migration. Real-time enterprises examples, if you take like banks, for example, migrating legacy databases in real time. They move to cloud platform, and also while migrating they have to see zero data loss. They should not lose any data when moved. And last one, very important, is whenever they move the data from source to target or legacy to target, high security and data is required. There are types of database migrations like, homogeneous migration. I'll cover all these migration types in the next slide. Heterogeneous migration, storage migration, and application aware migration. We talk about all these things is, for example, if you talk about homogeneous migration, same database technology, for example, Oracle to Oracle, SQL Server to SQL Server, DB to DB2 in this area, same database technology whenever you are using, it is little low complexity but fast migration purpose. Whereas if you talk about heterogeneous migration, different database technologies like in legacy or source side, X database will be there, but in the target Y will be. For example, source side is Oracle here, to take an example. Target side is PostGIS or could be different, vice versa. In this migration, not only tuples or not only the records will be migrated, complete schema will be migrated, and also sometimes schema conversions happen. For example, in source side, one attribute has a number data type, and in the target, it might be character type. For example, in a source side, the data type, target could be happen. We don't know what exactly the customer requirement, but in case if the data type changes or schema changes also, you should accommodate. But heterogeneous migrations are high complex compared to homogeneous. Yeah, that is a point into eating. The major key components while migrating from legacy to target, one is table and data will be migrated. All the entities and inside rows that is a meaning. And also database will have indexes and constraints also, constraints like foreign keys, primary keys, right? So that also be migrated from stage to time. Also, stored procedures in particular database will also be migrated. And finally, views and triggers will also be migrated from one location to other. That means source to target. That means legacy to. What are the challenges while migrating from legacy to large data volumes? That's the challenge while moving from one location to another. And also downtime should be minimal, otherwise customer base will be lost. Customer will be frustrated and enterprises will lose their business. And whenever you move data from legacy to target, data must be consistent, should be same from legacy to target. It should not be different from source. And business also should be continued. Because of the data migration, they cannot stop their business. The business should be continued. These are the things should be kept in mind, and then how to plan for data migration. There are some data quality issues comes while migrating, from legacy to target. Sometimes while migrating, duplicate records will occur in the target. Same record will be appearing many times. That should be avoided. Sometimes an attribute may miss values, but in reality, in the source it is valid. But in the target, it is not it's an issue. Invalid formats could be, for example, in the source, there is a format will be there like BB, NM, Y point. But whereas in target, there is a different format. That is not correct. Inconsistent data could be, for example, x is equal to 2, but whenever I move from post to parquet, instead of x is equal to 2, it might become, that is wrong, right? So it should be taken care by the developers or data migration who are does parse. There are different strategies for migrations or by the companies whenever they plan and legacy to current or target or cloud, whatever. There is one first strategy is a big bang migration, phased migration, and parallel run. We will discuss all these three in the next month. Big bang migration is nothing but entire data is migrated at once. This is a big challenge. It is very high risk because of we are carrying entire data at one time. Nothing but sometimes what happens, when you lose data, you miss the data, inconsistency may happen many. Short downtime window needs extensive more testing at the target side. Big bang has some limitations, so you can say disadvantages. Entire system is migrated at once. If something fails, whole system fails. That's a big problem. Now backup, running version backup will not be there. Application must be stopped during migration. Business operations may stop during for this strategy. Customers also get frustrated because business stopped. Whereas phased migration is good than big bang because data is migrated not at once, it is in states. Whereas in big bang it is high risk, here low risk because they are doing phase wise. If something goes wrong during migration, we can roll back it. Most of the companies nowadays prefer, instead of big bang, phased migration. But big bang migration is preferred also when the company is having small data. That means small company obviously have a small number of records. So whenever they have a small number of records, they will go for big bang migration. If the company is a huge number of data like trillions, billions of records, they will go with the phased migration. Parallel run strategy, it is also a good one. Here, in this case, old and new systems both run together and business cannot stop. When continuous data will be synchronized and live data, whatever is coming, it will be synchronized to the target at the same time. And business validation, high operational cost. This grid, if you see, there are comparison to big bang migration, phase migration and parallel run. The basic idea is in big bang, entire system is migrated at one time. Phased migration system is migrated in small phases. And whereas in parallel run, old and new systems run together. Here in the migration style could be in big bang is one shot change. Here phased migration, step by step change. Side by side running, whereas in parallel, right? Similarly, if you talk about rollback option, for example, in big bang, It's very difficult. Something goes wrong with the difficult to roll back. If rollback also happens, we cannot believe that. Whereas rollback is easy in phase migration. In parallel, very easy, very easy, very easy. In terms of business impact, in Big Bang migration, high impact in failure. Unless it is a small organization. And minimal impact in phased migration. Almost there is no impact at all in parallel run. So companies, conclusion is here, they either prefer this or this, phased migration or parallel running. Pre-migration activities. What are the activities before migration day? They should have to analyze the requirements. Every customer will have their own requirements, but must be taken by the companies whenever they do migrations. Or data profiling, schema assessments, migration planning. This is all we should have. Data mapping and transformation. From source, that is legacy for example, to target, there is a xn as an attribute value is 2. But in the target, if x is equal to 2, then y will be populated as 4. This is a transformation rule. So, these all transformation rules are defined in the requirements itself. And conversions also. Conversion means, for example, x is a data type is an int, x is a data type as an int, wherein target could be a car data type. So this all to be planned well. Business rule applications, data standardization. Migration tools, what migration tools will be used during this transformation? ETL tools like Informatica, native tools, or could be any custom scripts written in procedures, cloud migration services. Testing in database migration. Data validation testing will be performed, whether data is correct or not, whether from source to target as per the mapping rules, data is properly transmitted or not, can be validated by CV. Row count comparison, for example, the source row count could be 30. In target also should be 30. In case if it is less or more, is a problem, right? So that comparison. Data reconciliations, performance testing will also be performed during after data migration or during after data migration. Some automation in migration testing will also be performed, like automation of scripts, scheduling jobs, any errors that must be reported through automation. These things will be done. Security considerations like data encryption, access controls, compliance requirements, audit law. During data migration, this is very, very important, downtime management. Zero downtime is the goal. Otherwise, business will lose users. Incremental data loads is important. Data capture of change is important. Cutover plan is also important. Performance optimizations. Index rebuildings. Queries should be tuned well. Load balance should also happen. This was scaling should also. Post migration. These are the activities we perform. Data verification, application testing, user acceptance testing, system monitor. These are all activities must be performed after. Whenever you are doing some recovery, for example, something happens, this is backup before migration, rollbacks, failure handlings, business impact control. The best practices for these migrations are pilot migration. They do some trial migrations, automations, strong governance, stakeholder communication. What are the risks involved in data migration? When maybe data should not be lost, that is, data loss is a threat, extended downtime is a problem, performance issues may come, compliance violations may happen. When you say my data migration is success, that is when you have a strong planning of data migration. Skilled migration team must be have programmers or QA and planners. Proper testing should happen and executive support. Finally, the business benefits will be after migration, performance improves, better scalability, reduced cost, handles large volume of data, better user experience, cleans outdated tuples or rows, standardizes formats, improves data accuracy. Modern systems have better security, better encryption methods, new system reduces maintenance costs. Finally, the conclusion is like migration is business critical. It's not that easy to take a decision. Need strong strategy and plan and have a strong technical team for it. After migration, they must have proper testing, proper PA should happen. Thank you.